Hello guys, it's Alex Rodriguez. In this podcast, I talk about one of the big roadblocks that separates you and your dreams. Now, whatever I say doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean I'm wrong. It's just based on my opinion, just like a piece of art. You know, some people look at art and say, that is the most amazing thing I ever seen in my life. And then another person can come across and say, that looks really bad. I can do that in 3 seconds. Give me some paint and I'll make it happen. So it is just their point of view. One of the biggest roadblocks between you and your dreams is the fear of failure. Fun fact, it's not failure that constrains you, it's the fear of it. Fear means false expectation appealing real. Some of you have heard this before. Right now you're basing all your decisions on a story that hasn't even happened yet. How silly is that? You're constraining yourself from your full potential based on this fear. It's sad to know, but studies said that there is a lot of people, a large percentage of the people that pass away don't even reach their full potential. How sad is that? I don't want to be part of that statistic. Do you? So knowing that fear of failure is one of our biggest constraints from our success, what do? Because it's obviously that knowing things doesn't have much of an impact in our lives. For example, we all know that if you go to the gym, 3 times a week, you'll know that in 90 days, you'll have the best physique ever. We all know that, if you run every day, it's actually better for your heart. We know that too. But you see, knowing doesn't have the impact. It's doing, is the action that's going to have an impact in your life, not knowing. The fear of failure is part of a human machinery, and you need to be complete with that. You need to acknowledge it. You need to understand that it's there, and you're not going to get rid of it. Why try to get rid of it? That's part of you. As a human, you are afraid of failure. You have that fear, just like I have that fear. For example, I have a fear right now of creating this podcast and failing at it. But you know what? It's okay. I'm not going to constrain myself. I'm not going to let fear of failure constrain me from helping other people out. That wouldn't be fair for both the people I'm trying to help and myself. Because this is something that I enjoy doing. This is what I know about failure. I know that every successful person out there has failed more than once in their lifetime. And every time they fail, success always follows. Think about Thomas Edison. This is a great example. He spent so much of his time trying to get this light bulb to turn on when people were doubting him and called him crazy because everyone thought that, humans were made to light up their way with candles. And he believed that electricity could be a huge part of the human growth. And he has a quote that says, "I have not yet failed. I've just found out 10,000 ways that don't work." I mean, how powerful is that? It's how you see it. If you think about it, it's all perspective. If you try something and it doesn't work out, try it again. If it doesn't work out and you fail, that's okay. You now know 2 things that don't work. It's just getting you closer to your dream. You just got to continue on there and don't quit. Don't give up. I want you to do yourself a favor. I want you to look at anybody that you admire, and I want you to read their biography, because that's something that I do a lot. I love reading successful people's biographies, and you can't imagine the crazy things that people experience. And it's actually very inspirational because you see, all these things that happen to them, and you're like, wow, I have it way better than them. And it's just inspiring. If they can do it, why can't I? I always tell people, follow your dreams. You have nothing to lose. And what that means is, think about it. You have nothing to lose because you haven't gotten it yet. So for example, let's say I want to make this $75,000 deal with this client. And I'm afraid of making this deal. Well, why am I going to be afraid of making this deal? Well, what is it going to say? No? It's not going to affect anything because I didn't have the $75,000 in my account yet. So why does it matter? So think about it like that. It's a different approach, but it works. It works for me. If I can do this, if I can make my goals come true, I'm sure you can too. The only difference between you and I is will. Is action. Are you going to have action? Are you going to do what it takes? That's the only difference. That's setting us apart here. We're the same people. We're the same person. So go ahead and do something tonight that will help you, that will get you a step closer to your dreams. I want to see everyone I want to see everyone's dreams come true. There's a quote that I believe in, and it says, if you help someone get what they want, you will get what you want. So understand that 85% of the fulfillment is of all the relationships that you create. And then the 15%, the rest of it, is just the materialistic, the goals, anything that you achieve. 85% is all pure relationship. And that's why I'm committed to doing this podcast for you guys. So you guys can just hear my opinion. And like I said earlier, take what you want and throw away what doesn't work. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. The second factor that keeps us away from reaching our dreams is people around us. So how do we deal with them? There's a lot of ways. I'll be talking about this on my second podcast. Make sure to check it out. Also, I'm currently writing a book, so I'll keep you guys updated with that as well. So that's pretty much it. And just so you guys know, this took me more than one try to make this podcast, just to get it out there. So just don't be afraid. If I can do it, you can do it too.